Welcome to Ready, Set, Collaborate with Wanda Pearson. This is where ideas spark, connections grow, and collaborations fuse success. Tune in for inspiring stories, expert insights, and game changing conversations. Let's build, connect, and thrive together. Remember, collaboration is the key to success.
Welcome to the Ready, Set, Collaborate podcast with Wanda Pearson, where collaboration is the key to success. Today, I'm excited to introduce Nichica Melton, a dynamic force of inspiration and empowerment. Nichica is a five-time published author. Wow, girl, you go ahead 5 times. Jeez. I'm gonna catch up with you, Nichica, including her powerful book, Cut the BS. I'm assuming that, oh, I like that, Cut the BS. I don't even want to say what it is, but I know what it is. So, simple strategies to unlock higher productivity. She is passionate about helping others break free from distraction, embrace discipline, and reach their fullest potential. I love that. I love that you're doing that. So, in this episode, we'll uncover how Nichica empowers people to take action, elevate productivity, and transform obstacles into opportunities. Yes, that's the way to do it, Nichica. So, say hello to the audience, and then I'm going to read your bio, and we're going to get this party started.
All right. Hello, audience. My name is Nichica Melton, and as someone who was definitely plagued by being overwhelmed and overworked all the time, I was always depleted no matter how late or whatever. I actually help high level achievers learn how to identify the unproductive hats that do not pay them,
Mhm.
identify them and discard them. Because overwhelm seeps in when we start stretching ourselves thin with the things that really don't benefit us. And so
Mhm.
in my book, Cut the BS, which that title trips people up, the BS actually stands for bogus strategies. Those
Oh,
things, yes, those things we keep doing, but they're actually not working. They're not relieving anything off of our shoulders, and we're still overwhelmed and overworked. So that's why I wrote that book. And actually, Miss Wanda, I'm about to have a collaboration book come out. So it will be 6
okay.
books. Yes, ma'am. Excited
Okay.
about that.
I'm scared. Yes, 6. That's a good number. That's a good number. So what does that BS stand for again? Tell us what that stands for.
Bogus strategies.
Bogus strategy. You know what people were thinking when you said BS,
Oh,
right?
I know, because and the title grabs their attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It really does. I love that. I love that, that you're doing that. So, well, let me tell you a little bit about Nishika. And I love the name Nishika. Your mom, what made her name you Nishika? She just thought about it?
There's a story behind that too. So
Okay.
my mom thought she was being creative by just switching some letters in another person's name that her and my dad were mutual friends with.
Okay.
However, I used to work for a retirement company helping people with their 401ks, and I had
Mm.
someone to call in from Israel. And
Oh.
she asked me, she said, "Are you Hebrew?" I said, "Not even close." She said, "Do you know what your name means?" I said, "My mom and dad just made it up. That's
Yeah.
what our culture does. We're creative." She
Yeah.
said, "Actually, your name is extremely common in Israel." She said,
Yes.
"It's a Hebrew name." I
Yeah.
said, "Shut up."
Yes,
She
it
said,
is.
"It's a Hebrew name and it means kiss from God."
Wow. That's a blessing. Well, my maiden name is actually Abrams. So when I went for
Mm,
interviews, so what do you think they said about me?
yeah,
It was Abrams. They thought I was Jewish. I said, no,
not even close.
I do have a lot of different things mixed in me, but
Okay.
all right, Nishika, girl, we can keep this going. We're gonna have some fun here. So let me tell you a little bit about Nishika's bio here. Nishika F. Milton is a dynamic force of inspiration and empowerment. With a bachelor's in communication studies and a master's in education administration, Nishika's academic prowess is just the beginning. Did I say that right? Prowess?
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Prowess. As a five-time published author, including Cut the BS, Seven Simple Strategies to Unlock Higher Productivities, she's transforming lives one page at a time. Nishika's influence spans ministry, entrepreneurship, and real estate, where she ignites growth and prosperity. whether speaking at events nationwide, parenting her six children with her husband, six girl, I only had two, that was enough for me, six children with her husband, or coaching high achieving professionals and entrepreneurs to success, Nishika's passion shines through. She's a beacon of faith, resilience, and unwavering dedication guiding others on their journey to greatness. Connect with Nishika at www.mindingmybusiness.vip and embark on a transformative adventure today. And I tell you, that is great. I'm really six. That's a lot. But you know what? I grew up with eight, so I was the oldest, so I know how it is. But no, what a blessing you are to be able to help that and also entrepreneurs and everything that you do. But welcome to the Ready Set podcast with Wanda Pearson. Thank you so much. We're going to dive into this, Nishika. So, can you share a bit about your personal journey and what led you to write Cut the BS?
Yes. So I was working full time, mom at that time, married to my first husband, and just I've always been that person who was always trying to achieve. I really had to let go of that overachiever mentality, meaning that you have to do everything in order to be seen. But that was how I was raised, and I had to let go of that. You don't have to do everything, you just have to do the right things. And so I was finding myself just drained all the way out, just constantly depleted. I was that person that I would look up the programs, all the high productivity gurus who said they could help you get organized and help you be more productive. But what I found was their programs did not work for my life. And I was finding myself being even more stressed out trying to do what they said to do because I had three small children, all of them under 5 that I had with me. And so I didn't find the customization that I needed. And, when people are on the outside looking in, they don't really see or understand your struggle because we can put
Right.
that mask on and make it look
Mhm.
all real cute and
Mhm.
perfect when you're actually drowning. And I was drowning and I didn't know how to ask for help because people really didn't believe. There's a saying out there that says something to the effect of check on your strong friends because they're the ones that people always ask last if they need anything. And I
Right.
was that strong friend. So as I matured, as I was tired of sinking, God just actually gave me the ideas. He said, I've been telling you how to do this, and you've
Mhm.
actually been helping other people, but you didn't realize what you were doing. So
Right.
I started writing, taking notes, implementing, and it was no longer a situation where my head was just above the water, because that's how
Mhm.
a lot of people function.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
get used to that. And I came out of it. I came out of it and I put those strategies that will work no matter, even if you're not an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
because I've had folks to buy the book who are clocking the 9 to 5 and they're like, I've implemented your strategies on my job and it has caused me to be more productive and less stressed at my place of work, not business, but work. So
Right.
that the strategies that they're universal.
That's awesome. And that is so true. Because I tell you, I'll be on your classes sometime about the calendar.
Mhm.
I am my kids, I don't babysit unless they're on my calendar. They know they got mad at me when I retired and they thought I was supposed to be a grandma that just supposed to be sitting home and babysitting grandkids. I said, no, it don't
Mhm.
work like that. I said, you got to get on my calendar. So I said, I'm busy too. I got to keep myself going because looking at my father, who was a regional sales manager, and when he retired, he stopped thinking and he got Alzheimer, dementia. So I looked at him. I actually died right before I went to go visit him. I looked at him and I said, I can't do that. I'm not going to retire. I was still young when I retired. I got to keep myself going. And
Yeah.
girl, did I keep myself going. I told you my husband had to say, could I get on your calendar? Because it's so important. All right, girl, we can talk about this. So you authored 5 books. What drives
Mhm.
your writing and how has each one impacted your audience?
The first book that I wrote, it was called Breaking Free, My Purpose is Waiting on Me. It was a way of me to tell about my struggles without telling my business,
Mm,
because it takes people through a journey of just self-reflection. And if you do the exercises in the book, it makes you look inward. So it's not a book you can just read through and be like, oh, that was good. It's a book that you're supposed to use to work on
mhm,
you and to see what are the roadblocks, the walls that are getting in my way. What's the mindset that I get stuck on that causes me to be stuck? So that was my first book. And then I worked on some collaboration books with other people. So
mhm,
that got my toes wet in that arena, working with other folks and contributing a chapter within
mhm.
their book. And so Cut the BS is actually my second solo book.
Okay. Okay.
And then I've got the my own collaboration book that I've been working on with five other authors who are also entrepreneurs.
Mm,
And that book and conference will be released. We're praying in October that
okay.
everything will be done. And it's called Breaking Free, the Making of an Entrepreneur. So they're all talking about what they went through to get to where they are now.
That's awesome. I would have loved to have been in that book. That's so true here. So, yeah. Your book offers 7 simple strategies. Could you highlight a couple of that listeners can begin applying today?
Absolutely. So, one of the quick strategies I would say is prioritizing, and that requires a lot of being able to self reflect as well as being able to say no. And as simple as that word is, in the fact that it only has two letters,
Mm-hmm.
it is so hard for people to say no because it's either they feel obligated to say yes or they're
Yeah.
scared to say no. So with the prioritizing, I give the 3 Ds and it goes
Mhm.
into more detail. There's actually a quadrant that you can use to weed things out in your head, but these are the 3 Ds. You either do it, delegate it, or discard it. And you
Mhm.
know that you need to do it is 100%. It
Mhm.
has to be done now and it has to be done by you.
Wow.
If
Wow.
that's the case, then you do it. If
Yes.
it needs to be done, but it doesn't have to 100% be done by you, then you delegate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's something that, oh, it's a great idea, but you know what? I don't need to do it. It doesn't even need to be on my calendar right now. You can discard it. And discard it doesn't necessarily mean throw it in the trash can. It could mean that you pass it on to another business owner that's not even in your camp, on your team, and you
Mm-hmm.
pass it on to them. What I found, Wanda, is people who are micromanagers, they have a lot of issues with delegating
Yeah.
and definitely have issues with discarding. And that's why they are overwhelmed and overworked. That's why I said it's got to be self reflection because if you are a
Mhm.
micromanager, you got to
Yeah.
tighten up that grip
Yeah.
and get that stuff off of your plate. And then the second, which I preach no matter where I go, you need to have your calendar. And I teach my clients you have a digital and you have a paper calendar because the digital, you can set your reminders. If your digital happens to go dead or you leave it, you've got your paper calendar that you're not losing your mind trying to remember what am I supposed to be doing right now. Those would be the two things, prioritizing and getting your calendar in order.
That's awesome. And they really make sense. Do it, delegate, and discard. The 3D. I
Hmm.
love that. I love it because in fact, I talk about the 4 C's: communication,
Okay.
compromise, consideration.
Uh-huh.
God, how come I always forget that fourth one? But there's always another C. Communication. I have my husband remember those too, but no, and it also goes for in your business and relationships.
Yes.
Communication, compromise, consideration, and Jesus Christ, I just forgot that the fourth word here. I tell you, that's when you get CRS, right?
Oh.
I'll come back to it, but yeah, but don't forget.
Okay.
It's gonna come back and say, yeah, one, how you can forget that one? What do you see as the biggest productivity killers in today's world?
Oh, the biggest, I don't know if the biggest has been identified yet, but I would say one of the biggest productivity killers is distractions. And there
Mm,
are many. We
yeah,
can get distracted at home if you work from home, because as you're walking through your house, you see the
yeah,
laundry needs to get done, the kitchen needs to get cleaned up, you need to clean off your desk, and just there's many distractions. And then we can get ready to do our posts on Facebook, but before we do the post, we start scrolling. And what's supposed to take 10 minutes to post, we on there, been on there for 30 minutes. Lord have mercy. That's what I would say would be the biggest productivity killer.
yes,
Distractions.
yes. I love you. Must be talking about me because I tell you, I said, what? I said, what did I? What was I doing? What did I say I was going to
Yeah.
do? Then I was supposed to be writing a note or writing it or getting something together. But yeah, no, that is so true. Oh my God. So how do people help? How do you help people push past excuses and stay consistent in their goals?
Oh, that's a good question. So I am the coach that is the queen of 20 questions. I'm straightforward and I'm honest. And I also help you confess with your mouth what the problem or problems are.
Hmm.
When tasks aren't getting done, because everybody has homework, everybody has things that they need to work on in order to implement these strategies. When tasks aren't getting done, then I'm coming with the questions, because I want you to ask yourself these questions. Problem with excuses is that we accept them ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We're accepting them. And so I let my clients know up front, I don't accept my own excuses. I don't make them, and I'm not going to accept yours. And it helps me wean out, because anybody who works with me has to be teachable. If you already have the answers, I can't help you. If you have rested in your excuses and they are your lifeline,
Mhm.
then you need to come to me when you're ready to let them go. And we get confused between what's a valid reason and what's a legitimate excuse. It's an
Mhm.
excuse. And a lot of times it's not a reason. Now, if you broke your leg, then no, you can't compete in the skiing competition because your leg is broke. That is not an excuse. But if you tell me my internet went out at my house, I couldn't get ABCD done, my question to you is there not a Starbucks or
Mm.
Panera that you could have gone to? Even grocery stores have Wi-Fi now. You know
Well,
what I'm
even your
saying?
phone,
So,
your phone, you have
right.
stuff on your phone.
That's an excuse. In the mind, it was justified. But the
Yeah,
reality is you really didn't want to do the work. You accepted the hurdle that came your way instead of destroying the hurdle or moving past the hurdle, because you didn't want to do the work to begin with. You
right,
tackle excuses by getting to the core.
right.
What's the core reason?
Yeah. And this is my next question because you're known as the force of empowerment. What does empowerment mean to you personally?
Empowering someone, and that is such a great question, because we think that empowering someone means that you go along with whatever they say or do, and that's not empowering, that's enabling. So
Mhm.
empowering someone is reminding them who they are and what they can do beyond how they see themselves. Because I've witnessed people put themselves in the safe space, the space where they know they can accomplish, but they don't want to go out into the deep. Let me empower you to go out into the deep where the greatest part of you is going to be unlocked. Let me do that, because you don't need me for the safety. You don't need that from me. You're already safe. I need to take you beyond that.
Awesome. And that makes sense. It's really, and that's what I talk about as far as even like with my coach, empowering and educating. Let me empower you, but you got to get to that point. And they got to actually believe in themselves to
Mhm.
move forward. Collaboration is the theme of this podcast. How has collaboration fueled your own journey as an author and a speaker?
The person who thinks that they will get where they need to be by themselves is
Mm.
delusional. You cannot. You have to collaborate. And I don't think we realize how much we do collaborate just in our everyday life. When we hear that word collaboration, it's, oh my gosh, what is that? Let's
Mhm.
break it down to the basic form. When your car gets on E or gets a little bit below half, you have to go collaborate with that gas station to get some gas in your car. When those groceries get low, you got to go collaborate with the grocery store to get your groceries. And the biggest collaboration of all is between you and your bank. Because if
Mm,
you're not doing the work you need to do to make the money you need to make, you're not going to get anything.
that's
So
right.
collaborating is part of our everyday life. We just don't recognize it. We do
Mhm.
not recognize it, but you need the connection with the right people where you're partnering. Oh, the other part of that, I've seen parasitic relationships, which they want to call it collaboration, but it's not. One person is getting something, the other one's getting drained. That's not a collaboration. When we collaborate, we're both getting something out of the connection. And it is critical if you plan on going further, whatever pace, whatever level, you need to have somebody that can help you. Otherwise, you're going to be working harder than what you need to.
Yeah, working harder, not smarter. That is
There
so
you go.
true. That is true. So, what role does mindset play in balancing productivity and personal fulfillment for you?
Mindset is everything. It is everything. And you have to have the right mindset in order to create and establish the vision that you have for yourself. I found it, and I talked about this at the Ignite to Profits conference that I was a part of. There are too often when we're growing up, people tell us who and what we should be. We're not really allowed the opportunity to develop
Mhm.
and really see who we are. And because that is the case, especially with folks our age, there has to be the mindset that says, I'm going to wash away all of that. I'm going to go down that journey of who I wanted to be, who I can be. And regardless of what walls I hit, I know that I'm equipped and I have the coach with me, whoever that coach is, to help me identify the strategies that I need to tear those walls down or identify the door that's at the wall. All I got to do is walk through it because, again, it's about working smart and
Mhm.
not working hard. The
Right.
mindset is everything. And if
Yeah.
you're a person who constantly, your first inclination is to be negative or to tear yourself down, we have to fix that first. We have to
Yeah.
work on that first.
Absolutely. It's about being positive about yourself, how you want to move forward. What is one productivity habit or discipline you practice daily that others could adapt to? I know it's a lot.
And there's stuff that I do that's just habitual. What you need to do, I talked about the calendar earlier. So at the beginning of your day, when you're eating your breakfast or you're making your coffee, check your calendar, see what's on there, see what has been changed because we're in the world of Zoom and all these things. And there could have been a calendar change where the person sent the invite or the notice, but you didn't see that because you haven't checked your email, but it will change automatically on your calendar. So at the beginning of your day, just go through what's taking place for today. Focus on today. so that you can have the mindset of who you need to connect with, remember what your priorities are, and you'll be good to go.
Wow. I guess I'm doing the right thing because that's the first thing I checked. I said, okay, what do I got to do today on my calendar for today? Yeah, we winding down, and this is great. You got to come back on my podcast, girl. I got a lot more
Yes.
stuff to ask you here. When people reflect on your life's work, what legacy do you hope they remember most about Nichica F. Milton? Melton.
You asked some good questions. And I say that because Taria is always asking for a quote. And I try to give a different quote, and I try to give one that's original. And the last quote that I gave her was, people are always trying to create paths and lanes, but I'm creating legacy. And what I want to be remembered is I was the person who not only talked about it, but I walked it, I lived it. That my life was not one that was just an Instagram showboat, hypocritical, whatever,
Yeah.
but it's reality, and it's what I'm showing you, and what I demonstrate is me. Authentic, sometimes raw and unfiltered, but it's me. And I want people to know that as we are growing and becoming better,
Mhm.
we still are going to have our hiccups, our hangups, our issues, but
Mhm.
you live, you correct, you adjust, and you keep going forward. That's the legacy I want to leave.
Wow, you got to make that an acronym. Live, correct. What is it? Live.
You live, you correct, you adjust, you go forward.
Okay, yeah, put that in the acronym as far
Okay.
as. Yeah, definitely. I have my acronym about pace, protect, adjust. Oh yeah, and I meant to tell you my other one, my C was, did I say commitment?
No,
That's what it was.
commitment.
Commitment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's a lot of C's. It's a lot of four C's. It could be five or six C's, but yeah, all of those here. We actually winding down. Jessica,
Yeah.
which I love your name. Tell us what you got going on. How can people get in touch with you and what you got in the future? I know you got a conference coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes, if you can get to Greensboro, North Carolina on September the 27th, then you need to make sure that you register for the Minding My Business Conference. This is our second year doing the conference. We have some amazing speakers that are going to talk about MWBE certification. I've got a bank coming in who is small business, entrepreneurial
Mhm.
friendly, retirement and insurance. I've got a person coming in who has had, I think, about 5 or 6 different businesses that have all failed except for the one they're in right now. They're going to come and be transparent about that's their story. Panels, lunch, vendors, networking. You need to be in the building. So you would want to go to mindingmybusiness.vip. Don't put .com because that's not me. .vip/conference. And this year, because last year I charged, this year is free. So if you
Free.
like free 99, you better get on the boat this year, because I'm going to tell you right now, let
Yeah.
it be known, heard, and understood. It ain't going to be free next year.
Uh,
It is not going to be free next year. So if you can get to Greensboro, get to this conference. And do you have to have a business to be a part? No, because the strategies and the words that are going to be provided are tools that you can use no matter if you have a business or not. Go to the website mindingmybusiness.ip/conference and register. And if you want to connect with me, I think the easiest thing to do would be to go to my website, mindingmybusiness.vip. And on the website, there is a link that will allow you to have a free ebook. It's downloaded. You download it right then. There's nothing I need to send you. You download it right then, and you get my free ebook as soon as you fill out the information and click download. It is yours.
Wow. That's awesome. I am so happy that you came on here. And actually, this is going to be out before. What you're giving me here is going to be in the show notes. So it will be before your conference, but let's hope people get your information before that.
Yes.
It will be in the show notes as far as that. So, Nish,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for sharing your passion, your energy, and wisdom with us today. Your
Thank you.
ins
It's been my pleasure.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's just, and like I said, you're gonna have to come back on my show again because we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. Your insights into productivity and empowerment remind us all that cutting the BS, not the other word, BS, is about clearing the path to purpose. And to my listeners, remember collaboration is the key to success. Stay tuned for more inspiring people right here on Ready Set Collaborate with Wanda Pearson. I want to make sure because this is also going to be on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and it's on every podcast platform. Make sure you like and follow it and share it. Share it. Doesn't hurt. It's free to share, right? Until next time, keep collaborating, keep producing, and keep living with purpose. Thanks again, Nishika, for being on my podcast.
Thank you.
Bye.
That wraps up another episode of Ready, Set, Collaborate with Wanda Pearson. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to help you build meaningful connections and successful collaborations. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more great discussions. Until next time, keep collaborating and making an impact.